Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Jam Bets NFL Sunday Week 3. So I am Tike, joined by Momma Mia. Yeah, I know this season's already flying by. So we got a couple things we're going to be sharing with you guys on this video. We're going to be doing a quick recap of our thoughts and ideas on the Thursday night game, Miami versus Buffalo. Then we'll be going right into the Week 3 remaining games. So, Mamma Mia, you want to kick us off with how you did on Thursday?
Sure. Good morning. Good Sunday morning, everybody. Let's see. Talking about Thursday night, I had overperformer for Miami as Malik Washington. He really didn't overperform. He had 2 carries for 20 yards, caught 3 of 5 targets for 12 yards. I thought they'd get him more involved, but I guess not. And then on the Buffalo side, I had for my overperformer James Cook, Ray Davis. Cook ran the most. He had 19 carries, 108 yards, 1 TD, caught all 3 of his targets for 10 yards. I think he did very well that night. Then on my underperformers for Miami, I had Tanner Connor. Thought he would be kind of not getting too much. And he caught 1 of 2 of his targets for 13 yards. So low-hanging fruit there, I know. And then on Buffalo, we looked at Khalil Shakir. Yeah, he did not underperform. He caught all 4 targets for 45 yards and a touchdown. And Coleman on the other side caught 3 of 4 passes for 20 yards. The tight ends had more action than the wide receivers, though. Allen spread the ball to 10 different players that night. So that was quite interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of maybe sleepers on the Buffalo team. And Tyke, how did you fare in your projections for Thursday night?
I did okay. I think Malik Washington probably overperformed, considering I had never heard of him till you brought him up. Um,
He's on special teams too.
well,
You don't get points for that.
no, so I did okay. I had Jordan Brooks, will linebacker for Miami, to have more than 8.5 tackles and assist tackles. He did not. He only had, I think, four. The other linebacker, Tyrell Dodson, was everywhere. He had 11 solo tackles himself. He was taking all the tackles, and there was no shortage of opportunities. But yeah, Jordan could not get it done. I did, however, say Miami would cover this. Said 11.5 points was too much. I said even a touchdown and a field goal, Miami still wins. Miami lost by a touchdown and a field goal and still did cover. The other player I had picked Dalton Kincaid as my overperformer. Had him to have more than 29.5 receiving yards. He did that on the first drive. First drive for Buffalo, that one was over and done with. He had at that point already overperformed. So that was a decent one, two out of three. But let's get into this Sunday, into the games, week 3. So one game we've got circled here, our get your popcorn ready game. We have the Denver Broncos versus the LA Chargers, AFC West divisional game. Two rockstar coaches. Chargers at this point are, well, the game is in LA, but Chargers are the favorite by 2.5 points. And Evan Ingram on Denver is out, and so is Dre Greenlaw, the linebacker over from the 49ers, is also out. And then on the Chargers side, Will Disley, tight end, is out. Elijah Molden, who's the backup free safety, is out, and Khalil Mack is on injured reserve, who is also out. So, Mama, what are you looking at for this game? Any thoughts, ideas, players you're watching for?
Yes, this is going to be a good game. I'm expecting on Denver for J.K. Dobbins to overperform. He's going to be the goal line back. He's doing pretty good this year. Fantasy Pros, he has his PPR projection at 12 points. I think they're going to want to run the clock by running the ball. I think they're going to want to keep Herbert off the field. So I think, methodical 10 yard, 10 yard, 10 yard, chew up the clock time is going to be the deal for Denver. And my underperformer for Denver is Bo Nix. Fantasy Pros has him projected at 17.3 points in PPR. The Chargers picked off Geno Smith 3 times last week. Their defense is ranked 16th for this week, which I think is way too low. They already have 5 sacks on the season. Bo Nix is still, he's young. He's still making mistakes. So I think he only threw 1 pick last week. But this is a very good defense, and I think they're going to school the kid. I think they're going to take him to school. For my overperformers, on the LA side, I got Justin Herbert. That guy. I've always liked him, and I think he might have been hurt last year. There just wasn't. They ran the ball so much. They really tried not to use him. So I think he's healthy, and the projections for him is about 19 points in PPR. He's ranked between 5 and 7 of the quarterbacks for week 3. Past 2 games, he's completed 44 of 61 passes for 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's accurate. He's a good quarterback, and he's strong, and he can run the ball. So can Nix. Nix runs the ball too. But I think Jim Harbaugh is a really good coach. He has looked confused sometimes, but I think he's ready for this one because he's going against another very good coach, as you know, Sean Payton. I also think my underperformer for LA could be Quentin Johnson. I think Patrick Surtain is going to cover him. And I'm kind of skeptical on Quentin that he really is having a breakout season. So this game is going to tell us if he is the real deal or not. He's projected for 10 points. He's listed at wideout 40. So, that's all I got for that game. How about you, Tike? What do you got?
So yeah, I've got one overperformer and one underperformer. My overperformer, I'm taking Ladd McConkey. I feel like his ceiling of what's listed is too high for what his fantasy projections are. He's only projected 5 catches for 71 yards. I think he can easily outdo that. He's not projected for any touchdowns. I think he can easily beat that. Broncos will be using man coverage 45% of the time. That's the second most man usage rate in the NFL. And when Ladd McConkey is playing against man coverage, his targets per route ran increases 17%. So he is the go-to receiver against man coverage. But a lot of those numbers are also without Keenan Allen. So that will be an interesting dynamic to watch. The Broncos also bring the blitz a lot when they're in man coverage. And then that just goes to reinforce more Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey's target per route ran against the blitz is 26%. Last year when he played the Broncos, he had 10 receptions also. Now he was schemed to not have Patrick Surtain on him. Even though Surtain is somebody who will travel the field and guard the number 1, they were able to keep Surtain off him. So curious to see how that's going to happen again this week. But I think the ceiling for Ladd is well beyond beyond where his fantasy projection is. As for my underperformer, I'm going to be taking Omarion Hampton. Omarion Hampton he's rookie. He hasn't looked great so far this year. And he's going up against a very good defense. So I do expect him to get the ball a fair amount. But I don't expect him to have a game-breaking or a breakout game here. Denver's only allowing 1.19 yards per carry per attempt this season. Now, some of that did get that is not including last week where Jonathan Taylor destroyed them. Jonathan Taylor had like 118 yards or something like that. That is pre last week. But Hampton's only averaging 3.3 yards per carry this season, which is he's not performing very well because the Chargers' offensive line has the highest pressure rate over expectation from their offensive line at 12.1%. above second place there. So the Chargers' offensive line is performing very well, and Amari Hampton is not seeing the results needed there. Also, Najee Harris, his usage rate last week increased from 18% to 31%. I think that's an indicator of Amarian's effectiveness. I think if he doesn't start running the ball more effective, I think we'll begin to see more Najee Harris, and especially in this kind of bruising game that I'm expecting, I think there'll be more pass heavy than runs for this game. Mama, you interested in who you think is going to win or cover, over, under? Did you look at any of that?
Uh, I think the Chargers are the real deal here. It is in LA, even though people say they don't really have a home field advantage. But I think that team is going to be hard to beat, and it's because they're really operating very high on their offense and their defense, which was a good defense last year. Now I don't know how much they're going to miss Khalil Mack, though. I mean that could be a bit of a factor in this game. But what's the spread on this? 2.5.
Chargers are the favorites, 2.5.
Yeah.
So field goal either way
Jeez.
wins.
I'll take the Chargers to cover by a field goal. They got Dicker the kicker, so we'll go with that. Yeah. How about you? What do you think is going to win this game?
I'm also on the Chargers to cover. So I'm also on the minus 2.5 for the Chargers. I think the under is interesting as well. I think it was at like 48.5, but it's going down. I think it's 46.5 this morning. So people are taking the under. So that's an interesting one to watch. Curious how far down that total will go.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch. That'll be a good game.
All right, Mama. What other players are you watching out for today?
Hate to say this. Players that I like, that I think are probably going to do well. I hate to say this. It's Dak Prescott. He was on fire last week. And I beg to ask the question, is the New York Giants defense better than Chicago's? I think it might be.
It is.
Oh, I hate to say that. So I'm looking for Dak Prescott to just be lights out. But maybe on the road he struggles a bit, and I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong on that one. I think Bijan Robinson's going to have a good day. I think Atlanta's just going to end up running the ball and pull ahead real early, and just him and Algier will just run all day, So, and keep their Penix guy dry, and he runs too. But I think they're going to keep him from getting into any trouble. The other running back that I really want to see is Gibbs. I'm looking for Jamar Gibbs to have a big day in Baltimore. I don't know what it is, but both those teams have had very high scoring games, right? And it seems that the Baltimore defense is out of gas in the fourth quarter, which, by the way, is when Jared Goff gets going. If you watch the trajectory of those two teams, it's like this, Goff is going up and whatever,
I got you.
Baltimore's defense is going down. So I think that's going to be a good game. The other quarterback that I like, Indiana Jones, Daniel Jones from Indianapolis. Who is this guy? They're going into Tennessee, so it's a division game. It'll be really fun to watch. Tennessee's defense has given up 228 passing yards, and India's averaging 284 passing yards a game. They're really just clicking. They're the darling of the South right now, so that's fun. My avoids is McBride in Arizona. He's going up against San Francisco's defense. This is the first defense that I think that really is a tough defense. They've played New Orleans and Carolina. New Orleans has a decent defense, but they're just getting worn out. So this far, and so far this season, McBride's caught 12 of 16 for 139 yards. Arizona is 25th in total yards at 569 yards. And they're 27th in passing yards at 341 yards. Arizona has only scored 23 points this year. And like I said, they've played New Orleans and Carolina. They're going against San Francisco now. I don't think they're going to play very well. Another disappointment, I think, is going to be Jamar Chase. He's going to be in Minnesota. Brian Flores is going to game plan for him exclusively because they have a backup quarterback called Jake Browning, who's a decent backup, but he's no Joe Burrow. So, and this is interesting because my little sleeper who I like is Carson Wentz. He's been a Super Bowl quarterback. He's got a winning record. He wins everywhere he goes. So it'll be interesting to see. My other sleeper that I like is Roma Dunze. I think the Bears are going to have to throw the ball a lot, and I think he's going to benefit from that. How about you, Tyke? Who else are you looking at today?
So I've got two players I'm looking at here, both overperformers. The first player I'm looking at to overperform is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara going up against Seattle. Seattle has been an extremely weak defense against opposing running backs. Also, Kamara quietly having a pretty decent season. Kamara's averaging more than 4 yards per carry on zone and man rushing schemes. And I do expect Kamara to get the ball pretty frequently today. It should be a very close game. And then Seattle on the defensive side of the ball. Seattle's defense is allowing opposing running backs more than 4+ yards per carry on man and zone rushes. So I see Kamara doing very well when he's handed the ball, but also I think his biggest upside is going to come from receiving. I think out of the backfield, the receiving, if he can get 2, 3, 4 catches on a couple targets here, I think he is going to have a pretty monster game compared to what he's expecting. He's only expecting, I think, 60 rushing yards, and then his rushing and receiving, he's not even expected, I think, 91 total yards. I think he's going to blow that out of the water. I think he's going to eclipse 100 total yards today. And then the next player I'm looking at is Nico Collins. Nico Collins has had a pretty slow start to the season. He's really been the only wide receiver over there. Christian Kirk will make his return today. Christian Kirk will be playing in the slot, which will take some emphasis off of Collins. And the Jaguars, who Nico Collins is playing today, they allow the 7th most wide receiver yards per game to outside aligned wide receivers. So all the way lined up on the side, not accounting for slot receivers, which is where Nico's going to play today. They're allowing 135 yards per game, which is insane. And then they've also allowed the 2nd most receptions to outside aligned wide receivers this season. They've already allowed 22 receptions. So Jaguars defense very susceptible to the pass. Nico Collins, one of the best in the game. I think this is a good buy low spot, considering Christian Kirk is coming back as well to take some pressure and some eyes off of him. That is all that I've got. Mom, anything in closing?
Just we need to take care of each other and have fun today. All right, stay safe.
Have fun. Go Bears.
Go Bears, please.
All right, bye everyone.